Do you have clients with gray hair? How about resistant gray hair? Well, today I'd like to share with you some guidelines and techniques that Kuhn has to offer to help you achieve optimal gray coverage. I'd like to thank you so much for being here and thank you so much for having me. My name is Christy Klein. I've been doing hair for 25 years and was introduced to Kuhn about 22 years ago and absolutely fell in love with it. The results speak for themselves and it is so user-friendly. It's easy to mix, it's easy to apply. There's little to no fadage with their color. So anyway, I could go on and on and on, but we have a lot of gray hair to cover. So welcome to Kuhn Gray Coverage. Our first topic will be about how to achieve a fashion shade when your guest has gray hair. So in order to achieve a fashion shade as your end results while covering gray, a natural shade must be added. Well, how much of that natural shade do you add? Well, that depends on the percentage of gray hair that your guest has. So through a consultation, once you've determined the percentage of gray hair, you can formulate as follows, following these guidelines. So, for example, if your guest has up to 30% gray hair, you would use 3 parts of your fashion shade to 1 part of your natural shade. So that is a 3-to-1 ratio. So for example, if your natural end result is a dark golden blonde, which would be our fashion shade 6.3, you would use 45 mils of your 6.3 and 15 mils of your natural level 6, which is a dark blonde, by the way. You would want to mix equal parts of your 20 volume Tinta Cream developer with that. So that would be 60 mils of 20 volume. All right. Now, say your guest has up to 60% gray hair. That is where we want to lower the amount of fashion shade we have and increase the amount of natural shade in our formula. So we would mix up to 60% for 60% up to 60% gray hair. Sorry. We would mix 2 parts of your fashion shade to 1 part of your natural shade. So that would be 40 mils of our fashion shade, 6.3, and 20 mils of our natural shade 6. And again, equal parts of our 20 volume. Now, if your guest has up to 100% gray hair, we would want to again lower the amount of fashion shade and increase the amount of natural shade to equal parts. So that would be a 1-to-1 ratio. So you would use 30 mils of 6.3 and 30 mils of your natural level 6. You want to develop this for 30 minutes or up to 40. 30 minutes usually does it. And you want to process it at room temperature with no heat is ever required when using Kuhn color. All right. So anytime you're adding a natural shade to our fashion shade, you're going to lose some of the tonality from your fashion shade, and in this case with the 6.3 it would be the gold that you would lose. So this is where our next topic, our mixed colors, can be utilized. Our mixed colors can be used to personalize, accentuate, neutralize, or buy back tonality. So in order to determine how much mixed color needs to be added into a formula, all you have to do is go to the back of your swatch book, to your Tinta Advanced Reference Guide. Go to the very left-hand side on the top of the page, and right over here in this column, you will find your natural levels. In the next column, under centimeters, this will show you how many centimeters of the mixed color you need to add to your formula in order to do any of the things like accentuate, or personalize, neutralize. You would go over here to find out, and this would be based on 60 mils of a color formulation. And over here, it also has measurements of how much you would add in inches, depending on which way you want to measure. All right, so when utilizing the mixed colors, and say you need to figure out how many centimeters of color you have. Once you've determined that, say we need to add 8 centimeters. The way we measure that is that Kuhn has this handy dandy kind of ruler measurement system at the bottom. So the lines going this way are inches, and the spaces between the lines are centimeters. So whether you want to add in 3 centimeters or 5 centimeters, you can measure precisely the amount of mixed color that needs to be added. So you would put that in the bowl first, and then you would add your regular formulation right on top of it. Our oblong bowls has the same measuring system inside. Can you see those lines? Also has a dry erase pad, which is convenient sometimes. Now, whenever you're utilizing your mixed colors, no extra developer is needed. All right. Next, we will be moving on to a series of colors that Kuhn developed specifically for resistant gray hair. It is called our Ultimate Cover Series. It comes in 7 natural shades and 6 fashion shades. The reason it covers gray so well is because it has more alkalinity, more pigment, and is slightly warmer. The added alkalinity helps that cuticle open up, and the added pigment and warmth makes up for the lack of pigment that is in gray hair, right? And the lack of warmth. There's no warmth in gray hair. You want to mix any of these colors equal parts with your 20 volume developer and process for 30 to 40 minutes with no heat. Now these can also be intermixed with any of your other regular fashion shades or regular natural shades. All right, we have 2 more techniques to cover, so we will move right along to them. This is also for resistant gray hair. We have the shifting technique and we have the pre-staining technique. The shifting technique does provide also more alkalinity and more pigment to the hair. The way to achieve that is in the way we formulate our color versus developer. You would want, for the shifting technique, and this is for usually clients with up to 100% gray hair, you would use 3 parts color to 2 parts 30 volume developer. So what the 30 volume developer does is provide that alkalinity to help that cuticle open faster, and the extra color in the formulation provides more pigment for that lacking pigment that's in that gray. Lastly, our pre-staining technique are for those little pesky hair areas, usually right around the hairline, that are extra resistant. What you do, the way to achieve that is you want to take 1 to 2 levels lighter of a shade than your desired end result shade. So if your desired end result is a level 6, you would want to take a level 7 or a level 8, and without any developer, put them directly on those areas, usually right here at the temples, and you would develop it for 3 to 5 minutes, and then you would follow that with your regular formula right on top of it and develop accordingly your normal 30 minutes. So anytime we are done using, or anytime we're done with a color service, we recommend that you use our After Color shampoo and to cleanse, and our After Color balsam to condition. They both have a pH of 4 and help the hair go back to its natural pH level, helps that cuticle close down. So today we covered how to achieve a fashion shade while covering gray, how to utilize our mixed colors. We talked about our Ultimate Cover Series for resistant gray hair, and our shifting technique, and our pre-staining technique. So I hope all of these techniques and guidelines will be useful for you and helpful for you when you get back to your salon and implement them. I want to thank you again for being here, and thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to sharing more techniques and products that Kuhn has to offer. So until next time.